The cultural wealth of Native American peoples is vast and multifaceted, ranging from their innovative contributions to their complex social and spiritual structures. These aspects have significantly shaped today's world. By diving into the details of their spiritual beliefs and political systems, we gain fresh insight into their history and the pressing need to protect their traditions in a rapidly globalizing world. A lesser-known yet equally impressive fact is the role of Native American women, who not only supported their communities, but also stood out as warriors in significant conflicts, like the Battle of Rosebud. These revelations enhance our understanding of tribal diversity and resilience. Another intriguing element of Native American culture is the sun dance. While it might look like a vibrant outdoor celebration, it represents a deep spiritual expression involving significant physical sacrifice. Primarily a tradition of the Plains tribes like the Lakota and Cheyenne, this ceremony symbolizes one of the most important manifestations of faith and spiritual connection for these peoples. The sun dance is a deeply spiritual ceremony led by a spiritual leader, usually following a revelatory vision, or as a way to ask for spiritual blessings. This practice, though intense, is voluntary, and those who complete it earn great respect in their communities. It serves as a way for participants to connect more deeply with the spiritual, gain profound insights, and make offerings to Wakantanka, the Great Spirit. Held at the peak of summer, the sun dance requires extensive preparation and can last several days, pushing the physical and spiritual limits of those involved. During the prep period, participants abstain from food and drink, except for small amounts of water. This fasting not only purifies the body of impurities, but also prepares the spirit for an elevated experience of consciousness and spiritual connection, which are essential for the ceremony's success. In the spiritual journey of the sun dance, participants show their total dedication through rigorous practices of self-discipline. They isolate themselves in a fasting teepee, a space set aside for deep contemplation, where they spend days in prayer, meditation, and intense reflection, mentally and spiritually preparing for the upcoming ritual. The sun dance ceremony itself is a display of endurance and devotion, characterized by continuous dancing around a sacred pole. These dances, accompanied by the vibrant sounds of drums and chanting, can last for hours or even days, depending on the event. One of the most challenging and iconic aspects of this ritual is the piercing act. At this moment, wooden spikes or bone hooks are inserted into the chests or backs of the dancers. These are then tied to the central pole, and as the participants dance, they lean back, tensioning the piercings with their body weight. This extremely painful practice is seen as a profound sacrifice, a physical expression of the quest for spiritual visions and blessings. Many English words, especially those describing nature and animals, have roots in Native American languages, notably the Algonquian family. Take, for example, the term chipmunk, originating from the Ojibwa Ajidamu, which describes small striped rodents. This name was adopted and adapted by European settlers into English as chipmunk. Another fascinating term is pecan, which comes from pecani, a word from the Illinois language. This nut, which was common in the diets of the natives, was introduced to European settlers who incorporated the term into their vocabulary. Additionally, the word skunk, famous for the animal's characteristic odor, derives from the Abenaki term seganku, one of the Algonquian dialects. These examples illustrate the deep influence of Native American languages on enriching the English vocabulary, especially with words that describe the rich biodiversity of North America. Lacrosse, considered the oldest sport in North America, has a rich heritage rooted in the traditions of Native American peoples since the 12th century. Originally known as stickball, it was widely played among various tribes, including the Choctaw in the southeastern United States. But lacrosse was more than just a game. It played a central role in religious rituals and social gatherings, often lasting days with large teams. The sport served multiple purposes in Native communities, from resolving conflicts to training young men for war and paying tribute to the gods. The games were vigorous, played on vast fields, and could include hundreds of participants. Each tribe had its own rules and equipment, but the passion for the game and its cultural value were consistently evident. Players used wooden sticks with leather nets to handle a small ball, also made of wood. Over time, these balls were replaced by others made from deer skin, filled with hair, and the sticks became more sophisticated, with nets made of deer sinew. The game captivated European settlers, especially the French, who were delighted by this distinctive sporting practice. In the early 17th century, French Jesuits in Canada, specifically in the St. Lawrence River Valley, were the first Europeans to observe the game of lacrosse. Jean de Brebeuf, one of these missionaries, witnessed the Huron Indians in action and named the sport lacrosse. In 1834, the Kanawaka tribe performed a demonstration of the game in Montreal, sparking considerable curiosity and enthusiasm among Canadians. The modernization of lacrosse gained significant momentum with Dr. William George Beers, a Canadian dentist who in 1856 founded the Montreal Lacrosse Club. Beers was responsible for reformulating the rules in the 1860s, implementing changes like reducing the number of players, introducing a rubber ball, and a new design for the stick. These modifications helped transform lacrosse into Canada's preferred summer sport by 1860. Lacrosse crossed the Atlantic in 1867, reaching England for exhibition matches. In 1876, Queen Victoria herself watched one of these matches, praising the sport for the enjoyment it provided, which further boosted its popularity internationally. The marriage of Pocahontas to John Rolfe was a significant historical milestone in the development of what would become the United States, standing out as possibly the first documented interracial marriage in America. This union symbolized much more than just a simple emotional bond between two people. Pocahontas, originally named Matawaka, and later Rebecca after being baptized, was the daughter of Chief Powhatan, a prominent leader of the Algonquian tribes. On the other hand, John Rolfe, a widowed Englishman who arrived in Jamestown in 1610, became known for introducing a smoother variety of tobacco that quickly gained popularity in European markets. Captured by the English as part of a strategy to negotiate with her father for the release of prisoners in arms, Pocahontas converted to Christianity during her captivity and adopted the name Rebecca. Her union with Rolfe in 1614 not only solidified a personal bond, but also ushered in a period of temporary peace between the English settlers and the local Native American communities. The marriage between Pocahontas and John Rolfe not only solidified a temporary alliance between cultures, but also emerged as a powerful symbol of cultural exchange and coexistence during a time of intense tensions and conflicts. After being captured, Pocahontas was initially taken to Jamestown and later moved to Henrico, a small English settlement near what we now know as Richmond. The capture of Pocahontas compelled Chief Powhatan, her father, to meet some of the English demands to start peace negotiations. During her stay in Henrico, under the care of Reverend Alexander Whitaker, Pocahontas learned English and was introduced to English customs and the Christian religion, being baptized with the name Rebecca. John Rolfe showed a special interest in her, and over time the two fell in love. They married in April 1614, with the blessing of Pocahontas's father, who gifted the couple a small residence across the James River in Jamestown. This marriage was widely celebrated as a symbol of peace and reconciliation between the Powhatan Confederacy and the English settlers. The legacy of this union is profound. Pocahontas and John Rolfe had a son, Thomas Rolfe, whose descendants integrated into the first families of Virginia, playing significant roles in laying the foundations of American society. In many Native American cultures, societies were structured in a matrilineal way, meaning lineage and property were passed through the women. This system placed women at the heart of community life, assigning them a vital role in both social and political matters. Due to this centrality, women were seen as crucial figures, often referred to as life givers. In these communities, women not only guided family inheritance but also played influential roles in politics. A notable example is the Iroquois Confederacy, where the clan mothers had significant power in choosing male leaders and guiding tribal governance. Their influence was vast, extending to important decisions that shaped both the internal environment and external relations of the tribe. The way these societies valued women's contributions reveals a worldview in which women were essential to the maintenance and prosperity of the community. offering a striking example of equality and respect within traditional social structures. The name Sioux was adopted by French explorers through the Chippewa people, who called the Lakota Naduesu, an Ojibwa word meaning enemy, due to ancient rivalries. Interestingly, the Lakota, who are part of the broader group known as Sioux, prefer to identify themselves by the term Lakota, which translates to friends or allies of peace. The confusion originating with the French explorers led to the use of the term Sioux to collectively describe the Lakota, Dakota, and Nakota groups, despite their unique distinctions and identities. This nomenclature spread without a full understanding of the dynamics and relationships among these communities. Furthermore, the peoples known as Sioux have a deep and respectful relationship with the environment, manifested in the ability to use natural resources to create everyday essentials. A notable example is hairbrushes made from porcupine quills, which demonstrate the versatility and indigenous knowledge in utilizing available materials from nature for various purposes, from tools to ornaments. Native American artisans began making their hairbrushes by collecting porcupine quills hunted in the area. They would carefully clean each quill, selecting them by color and size. Often these quills were dyed using natural pigments derived from plants, minerals, and even other animals. Once prepared, the colored quills were meticulously arranged and attached to handles made of wood or bone, with the tips sticking out, forming a functional brush. This process not only reflects the ingenuity of Native Americans in utilizing natural resources, but also in creating objects that are both useful and aesthetically pleasing. Additionally, tribes such as the Choctaw, Cherokee, Creek, Chickasaw, and Seminole, collectively known in the southeastern United States as the Five Civilized Tribes, received this title from European colonizers due to their adoption of various cultural and social practices similar to those of Europeans. These included the establishment of organized villages and the practice of agriculture, which stood out in contrast to the nomadic lifestyles of other tribes. The Cherokee were pioneers among Native American tribes in developing their own alphabet, the Cherokee syllabary, devised by Sequoyah in the 19th century. This linguistic innovation enabled the Cherokee to produce newspapers, documents, and literary works in their own language, a rare achievement among indigenous peoples. Additionally, Cherokee towns were notably planned, with aligned streets and central squares reflecting an adaptation of European urbanization methods. In the realm of martial skills, many indigenous women excelled in horseback riding and archery, with some even standing out as warriors in their tribes. They not only mastered these skills but also fought bravely alongside men in defending their communities, actively participating in warfare tactics. One such exemplary warrior was Lozin of the Chiricahua Apache tribe, who fought alongside renowned leaders like Victorio and Geronimo in the late 19th century. Known for her exceptional tracking abilities and shooting precision, Lozin was feared in battle. She was also seen as having special abilities that allowed her to detect the presence of enemies, providing a strategic advantage in the fights for her people. Toi Purina, an influential healer from the Tongva tribe, played a vital role in the 1785 revolt against the Spanish colonizers in California. She was a key figure in organizing and leading the uprising at the San Gabriel mission, demonstrating courage and leadership skills that motivated her tribe to fight against colonial domination. Toi Purina's story is a testament to the active and decisive role of Native American women in their society, standing out as warriors, strategists, and leaders, countering the often projected image of submission. These narratives are just fragments of a vast tapestry of stories, achievements, and legacies of Native American tribes, whose contributions and resilience form an essential chapter in the history of America.